progress.
Okay, good evening everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. What was the last discussion?
Resolver, routing resolvers.
Route resolvers, right?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Do you have any question from previous class? No, we are good. We are good, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
fine. Then just give me a second. I'm going on mute for a second. Give me a second. We'll start. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm back. So today we will discuss how to load a module on a link click. Today we will discuss on a link click how to load a module, or we can say how to use can load in React routing, Angular routing. Fine, let's discuss. This is also called lazy loading. Lazy loading means load the modules, load the modules which are required on application load. Load only the modules that are required. Don't load all the modules. And as and when it is required, please load the modules. If we can achieve something like that, that is called lazy loading of modules. Lazy loading of modules. What does it mean? By default, ng modules are eagerly loaded. Eagerly loaded means, which means that ng modules are loaded as soon as the application loads. If you have 10 modules, all of them will be loaded on application load. Lazy loading enables to load only the module user is interacting and keep the remaining modules to be loaded at runtime on demand. If an application has 20 modules, don't load all the modules. Load only the required modules, 2-3 modules, maybe dashboard module, login module, these all modules, common module, these 2-3 modules we will load on page load, and other modules we will load on demand. Lazy loading helps to keep the initial bundle size smaller, which in turn helps decrease the load time. To lazy load a module, we need to use load children in the route definition. How to do that? To do that, create the feature module with the CLI using route flag on ng generate module payment routing. It will create a module called payment. It will create a module called payment. It will create a module called payment with routing enabled. Then we can configure that if it is payment or if it is customer, whatever it is. Customer is a module we created. Then we are configuring like this. Path customers, if somebody is clicking on this link, then load children. Load children means import this module. First import this module, then load that module. If we can do something like this on click of a link, if we are loading a module, this is called lazily loading a module. This is how we can create module and components. ng generate module customers route is true. Then customers module app module. It means I want to create a module called customers with route file with a component called customers component and link that module with app module. Okay, let's create two modules today. We already have app module. We already have app module. On top of that, we will create two more modules. Those two more modules are, let's say, customers module and grocery module, or we can say grocery module and some other module. Anything is fine. Now, let me create a customers module first of all. This will create a customer module, customer component, routing file, and will link that with app module. It is doing all these things. Created a customers routing module, created a customers module, created 4 files for customer component, and linked that module with app module. So if we go and see, let's see what all things did it do. Customers module, this is customers module. This customers module is having customer component. Then customer will have a routing file also. This is customer modules routing file. In this, there is one default component. By default, it will go to customers component. This is customers module. This is customers routing module. And we have a customers component. Then in app routing module, it added one entry. The entry says in the path if you see customers, then load the children. Load children is used to load a module. Import this file and load customers module. This is what we have configured in app routing module. Now we will go to navbar. Maybe we can create another module. The other module name is grocery module. So it will create a module called grocery. It will create a grocery routing file. It will create a grocery component and it will add that link in app routing file. All these things are done. Now customers and grocery are two different modules. Now what happens whenever we load our application, when we say localhost 4200, whenever we say, now let's do one thing. Let's add customers and grocery in. navbar. In navbar, we'll add two more. In navbar, we will add two more. One is customer, one is grocery. Yeah. So we have customers and grocery. Now, when we see what happens when we load the application for the first time, it loads a bundle file. It loads a bundle file. That bundle file name is main.js. It loads a bundle file. That bundle file name is main.js. If you check the response, when we load the application localhost 4200, it loads a file. That file name is main.js. If you check the content of this main.js, it will have it will have everything else. It will have everything else except customers module and grocery module. If you search for grocery component, you see nothing. But in our code, we have grocery component. We have this grocery component. We have this grocery component. When I search grocery component in the main.file that is downloaded, does it have grocery component here? Hmm?
No,
Why it doesn't have?
it's a part of
It's not
different
loaded.
one.
It's lazy loading, right? If it
Yes.
is lazy loading, it will be not part of main.js. Then what will happen? Ultimately, our main.js file size got reduced. It doesn't have all the unnecessary things. They are required, but on the go when user interacts our application, that time that is needed. That is not needed on page load. So we removed that part. We removed that part from main.js. Now, as soon as user goes and clicks on customers link or grocery link, whenever user clicks on grocery, another file will be downloaded. So when you go from home to about us, to contact us, to carriers, none of them is downloading a file because they are not modules. They are components. They are not modules. They are components and they don't have any existence of their own. So they are part of main bundle file only. You see? So all of them are part of main bundle. Yes. But when I click on grocery, a new bundle file will be downloaded. A new module will be loaded. When we click on grocery, a new module gets loaded. And if you go and check the response of this file will definitely have grocery component. Do you see it has grocery component? It has grocery component, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
If you look for other components here, if you look for other components here, you will not be able to find. If you search for products component, you will not be able to find. If you search for customer component, you will not be able to find because this file is having only grocery module related components, services, pipes, and whatever it is. So far, we have only one component in this module. So this file has only one component.
So quick question here. So
Yeah.
when we click on grocery module, it's load the this module, right? Grocery module.
Yes.
So does it
Yes.
mean at the same time app module is not loaded?
Now, app module is loaded. App module is the main module. Grocery is called feature module or sub module. So
So
app
at this
module
point,
is active now. Hmm.
okay. So what you said, app module is active now?
App module is active, still active. It is not like app module is dead and grocery module is active, right? So both of them
Okay.
are live now, both app module and grocery module. App module will be live all the time. So without app module, we cannot have an application. Other modules, grocery customers and all, they are feature modules, or we can say not important modules, and they can be loaded on demand when user clicks on a link.
Got it. But the thing is, if app module is loaded, then why can't we see the other component within app module?
Which component?
Like product component, carrier component. They are also loaded here or no?
They are not part of this file.
Okay.
They are part of main.js
Yeah,
file.
got it, got it, got it.
Main.js file has already loaded some 10 seconds back.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So when we create a separate file, what is the benefit? The benefit is when we hit localhost 4200, no need to load all 20 modules. No need to load. Load only app module. Anyway, app module is required. Load app module, login module, common module. Rest all don't load them. When you don't load them on application load, your main.js size will be reduced drastically. Then how we will load them? As and when user goes and clicks on a link, load that module. When you click here, customers module is loaded. When you click on groceries, grocery module is loaded. Do you see? If we would have not implemented lazy loading here, the content of these two files will be part of main.js. So eventually main.js size gets increased. We are just trying to reduce main.js file size. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah, right? That too, it will be loaded only once. When you switch from here to there, again it will not load because your browser needs it only once. Once it is loaded, it will be cached in your browser memory. When you jump from customers to grocery, don't expect that file to be downloaded again and again. Is it clear? So whenever you have one requirement that a module should be loaded on a link click, don't make that module part of main.js. It should be a separate file altogether. To make it a separate file, we have to follow the steps mentioned here. This is called lazy loading. Though it has a limitation also. What is the limitation? Let's say product list is part of main.js. When we click on product list, it will not take any time, right? If the API is taking time, forget about that. If there is no API call, then it won't take much time, right? Loading that component. Why? Because your module is already there, your component is already there. But when you click on customers, what is happening? It is trying to download a file. After the file is downloaded, then it will render your component. So which is time consuming. Okay. So to decrease the size of main.js, we created customers and grocery to separate modules. Yeah. Why did we create separate modules? To reduce the size of main.js so
Yes.
that my initial rendering will be faster, right? That matters a lot. When somebody hits your website www.abc.com, how long it takes to load the first page? That is the main impression. So it should not be like somebody is trying to access my web application and he has to wait for 30 seconds. No, that's not good. So to improve that performance, what are we doing? We are saying, okay, I have 10 modules. Let me not load all 10 modules. Whatever load modules are very important should be loaded along with my page load. Let's load them. Whatever modules are not that very important, we can load them when user clicks a link. Let's create lazy loading for them. So that way, our main.js file size got reduced and they are separate files. When user goes and clicks, the file gets downloaded and gets rendered. When user clicks on grocery, another file gets downloaded and that module and component gets rendered. But what if this grocery module itself has 10 components, 10 pipes, 10 services, 10 directives? To load that file also it will take some time, right? Right?
Yes.
It took 3 milliseconds to download. What if this 3 goes more? If it takes more time, then user has to wait for some time to see this page, right? That is always there, but it is okay. We should always try to uh, improve the performance while loading the application. That is one important thing. And also, if you feel on click of grocery, user is waiting more to load this module, there is another concept called preloading. There is another concept called preloading. This one is lazy loading. There is another thing called preloading. So let me explain what is preloading. Angular preloading strategy. Angular preloading strategy. What is preloading? Let me explain. Yeah, there is something called preloading. Let's understand what is preloading. Okay, we load Flipkart. Flipkart has 20 modules. On application load, when we hit flipkart.com, how many modules we are loading? Yeah, what is expected? How many modules should be loaded?
Very minimum, like
Very minimum 2 3 modules, right?
two, three modules.
Login
Yes.
module, login module, dashboard module, and common module, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Then now there are 15 more remaining modules we have. So let's say grocery is a module, mobile is a module, fashion is a module. If they are lazy modules, what is the benefit? What is the problem? What is the benefit of creating lazy modules?
Main size is less. Main bundle, I mean, main
Main.js
bundle.
size is less, so initial rendering will be faster. Okay,
Yeah.
initial rendering will be faster, but when user is clicking on grocery, you will download a module, you will show for that amount of time user will see a blank page, right?
Yes.
Until unless
Yes.
that gets downloaded.
Is there any solution for that now? Yes,
Like in,
there is a solution for that
I think
also.
you said something last time that we can, before going to that, we can get it downloaded in this page and then go there. That
Uh,
kind of
that is that is that is resolver fetching the data.
Resolver.
That is
resolver.
fetching the
Yeah.
data from API. Here we are not fetching any data.
Yeah,
Fetching
yeah.
the data will definitely take time. What if to download the file itself it is taking time?
Got it.
You
Got
might
it.
have noticed last time it took some time. This time it didn't take, but
Yeah.
last time there was a considerable gap or lag. We could see a white page here because it is downloading a file. Once that file download is done, then that module will be rendered. So when we click, a request will be sent, that file will be downloaded. Once that file is downloaded, a component will be rendered. All these things happens, which takes time. If you don't want to wait for the amount of time it takes to download the file, what Angular people are suggesting, they came up with another approach called preloading. There are three things: eager loading, lazy loading, preloading. Eager loading means load everything on application load, which is not good. But we have to keep minimum modules. So eagerly we should load login, common, and dashboard module. Then there are two more: preloading and lazy loading. When we should go for preloading, when we should go with lazy loading. Let me explain. Preloading in Angular means loading the lazy loaded modules in the background asynchronously while user is interacting with the application. So what Angular is suggesting, let me give you a background, then we will go through the theory. Angular people are saying, somebody hits flipkart.com, okay, load the minimum modules, 3, 4 modules. Now, my main.js file size is reduced. Once the application is loaded, now, once application loading is done, by the time user is doing something, download all the preloading modules and keep it in your browser. Let's say for travel preloading is set to true. If preloading is set to true, when your when your main page got loaded, now your browser is free, right? As soon as browser becomes free, it will download all the preloading modules and keep them in the browser. So travel, then electronics, these two are preloading true. Preloading true means after your page is rendered, it will start downloading all the preloading modules. Even though you didn't click them, those modules will be downloaded behind the screen without your knowledge, and they will be there in your browser. So as soon as you go and click electronics, you will not see any delay. You will be able to see the component quickly. But if toys, beauty toys, and more. This is a link. User is very frequently not clicking. If user is very frequently not clicking on this link, let's go with lazy loading. Please understand, there are three types of loading. One is eagerly loading. In eagerly loading, the module will be loaded on application load. Now the remaining modules out of 20, 5 are eagerly loaded. Then remaining 14. Out of 14, you need to understand which all links are very frequently clicked. When user hits flipkart.com, so most of the users, are they directly going to beauties and toys? They are very frequently going to two wheelers. No, these links are rarely used. If they are rarely used, don't says don't set preloading true. They should be eagerly loading because it's not a frequently used modules. What is frequently used module? Grocery is a frequently used module. So set preloading true for it. When we set preloading true for it, after the application is loaded and once browser becomes free, when you are scrolling and you are doing something, you are reading or you are watching something, by that time browser will download grocery and fashion, these two modules behind the screen. It will download and keep it in browser cache. When you go and click on fashion, you will not see any delay to load that module because that module was already downloaded without your knowledge. Do you understand what is lazy loading and what is preloading?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is lazy loading and what is preloading? Let's understand with one example also. Preloading in Angular means loading the lazy loaded modules. They are also lazy loaded. Lazy loaded, why they are lazy loaded? Because they are not part of my main.js file. They are lazy loaded modules, but even though user is not clicking the link, we are loading them. Loading the lazy loaded modules in the background asynchronously while user is doing something else with my application. This will help to boost up the loading time of the application. When user navigates to a lazy loaded part of the application, the Angular will have to download the module from the server. This is lazy loading. This is the problem of lazy loading. By preloading the lazy loaded module, the user do not have to wait for the module to be downloaded as the module is already downloaded in the background. Angular provides two built-in strategies out of the box. One is preload all modules, no preloading. Now in our project, no preloading is configured. No preloading is configured means The things will be downloaded when the link is clicked. So no preloading is configured. Both grocery and customer share lazy loaded modules. Lazy loaded means when user clicks, then only it will be downloaded. We can say preload all modules. Preload means load them after you are free. How to configure that? To configure that, to configure that, whenever we say router module dot for route, whenever we say we pass the routes, we can set it. We can set it preloading strategy, preloading strategy, preload all modules. When we say preload all modules, it will load my modules after application is loaded. Now let's understand when to go with eagerly load, when to go with preload, when to go with lazy load. Eagerly load the modules, those are required at the startup. Authentication module, core module, shared module, dashboard module. These are very important modules. They should be loaded when application starts. Preload all the frequently used modules. The modules, those are frequently used, preload them. Maybe after some delay, we can write some logic also. We can say that once my page is loaded, once my browser is free, after 5 seconds, start loading my preloaded modules. Then lazy load the remaining modules. This is what the recommendation from Angular team. Now let's set preloading. If we set preloading, if we set preloading here,
So, rarely used
okay. So yes, so this is customers module. Suppose customers is not very frequently used module. For this, app routing, route module dot for route routes. Okay. Now I'll set preloading, preload all modules. When we set preload all modules, it's a predefined word. It's a predefined word. So we added this extra object. When we add this extra object, what benefit we get here? What benefit we get here? Please notice here. Please notice here. Uh, Please notice here what it will do. Now I'll empty the cache and hard reload. So what it is doing, please notice, first it is loading main.js. First it is loading main.js. Once main.js is loaded, our main application, main page, dashboard page will be loaded. After some time, when the browser becomes free, it also loads customer module and grocery module. It also loads customer module and grocery module. What happens? The application is loaded. When you click on about us, contact us, by that time customer and grocery, these two modules are also available. Now when we go to customers, it won't take much time. So after the browser is free, it has loaded customers and grocery. When we go to customers, it won't take time. When we go to grocery, it won't take time. To do this, what we do? We set this. preloading strategy, preload all modules. I have a document also.
Loading
Yeah,
को विशाल में पर बोला है।
yeah. So it talks about preloading. The Angular allows us further optimize our app using a technique called preloading. In this article, let us explore what is preloader, what all preloading strategies we have. We have no preloading, preload all modules. Later, we will also understand how to have our custom preloading. So now we don't have any control. Whenever browser becomes free, it downloads customer and grocery module. What if we want to write some custom logic? Once my browser is free, load customer. After 5 seconds, load grocery. After 5 seconds, load XYZ module. We can do that also. To do that, we have to write our custom preloading strategy. Okay. So what is Angular preloading strategy? Preloading in Angular means loading the lazy loaded modules in the background asynchronously. Yes. Yeah. By lazy loading, we can reduce the initial download size of the application, but when user navigates to a lazy loaded part of the application, the Angular will have to download the module from the server, which means that we'll have to wait. User will have to wait for the download to finish, right?
Hmm.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It
Yeah,
takes time.
yeah. By preloading the lazy loaded module, the user do not have to wait for the module to be downloaded, as the module is already downloaded in the background.
So
How
we
to
should
enable the
always do
preloading?
preloading, right? We should always,
Uh-huh.
we should
No,
always
we
do.
should not. We should not always also
I mean,
preload.
depends.
Yeah, yeah.
Like as you
See,
give an example, toys and all,
ha,
we don't click much.
ha,
So that
ha.
is no need
Correct.
to load at all. But if that is something side navbar, let's say, so we
Ha.
should always load.
Exactly, exactly. That is why they have three category. So load all the very important modules on page load. Then you have 20 modules. Decide which all are important, which all are least used modules. The least used modules should be lazy loading. The frequently used modules should be preloading.
Yeah.
You know, first they came up with lazy loading,
Yeah,
then they
actually,
came
till
up with
today we do lazy
preloading.
loading. So I said, share
Yeah.
an example in your WhatsApp. Can you open that? So here all the modules are lazily loaded. It's our project picture.
Huh. Okay.
So we should not do that, right? In that case.
No, no. How big your module is? If your module is too big, it is taking considerable time to download, then lazy loading is a problem. Otherwise, lazy loading is not a problem. In our application, do you think any problem even if we go with lazy loading when we jump from product
No.
list to customer? Do we see a lag? If we
No.
don't see a lag, it is fine.
Okay.
You know,
But if it's a
preloading
very
is
big
recently
application,
added.
it's a very big application, then preloading comes into the picture to make it further
Not
optimized.
application, your module. How
Module,
big is
module.
your module?
Yeah. For an example, if I have a sidebar and sidebar is having 7 8 links, and each and every link brings some data into the and huge data, let's say, into the dashboard kind of things. So in that case, what should be the approach? Like, should we preload that also? So here, if you see whatever the things written as a part of layout component, line number 15. So everything under these children are lazily loaded.
Yeah. So this is okay.
This is
They
all
are
these
lazily
are
report,
sidebars.
configure, workflow, account. No, these are small modules.
Yeah, small modules, like small modules and the sidebar. Inside sidebar, every
Making it lazy loading should be fine.
okay, we should not
From
do
the
that.
name, report is not a big module. Maybe it will
Yeah,
have
yeah.
maximum one or maximum two components. Correct
Yeah,
me if I am
we should say
wrong.
five six components maximum. not more than
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
in less than 10 is considered as small module only.
Okay.
And in all the cases, API call don't bring into your mind. API call is a different thing. How big your module is. To load that module, how much time it takes. How many components, pipes, services, directives that module is holding. If that module is holding a lot of things, that bundle size will be increased. If the bundle size is increased, to download that file also browser needs some time.
Yeah. Again, let's say your grocery needs shared module also, right? To in order to work, because from there they will get the data. So you will bring that in the imports, right? Imports, exports
Yes.
also need to manage, right? So that will again increase the bundle size of products also, right? If some module is needed, another module to bring some data.
Definitely it will increase the size. Let's say grocery module is dependent on some other module. Not only grocery module, the things from grocery module and the things the grocery module is dependent on. So combinedly, the bundle will be created. Yes.
Got it.
How to eager load module? Every module is eagerly loaded. No need to configure anything. Every component, everything is eagerly loaded. When we do nothing, they are eagerly loaded.
Yes.
To lazily load, we have to do something. To preload, we have to do something. Yeah.
And
So
for
this
root,
is
give some example. For root, explain. You are injecting inside the for root all the preloaded modules. Like over the for root only, we need to apply that.
yes,
Rather,
yes. This is the syntax.
okay.
Yeah, go through this. Go through this link. I think we understood the concept, and we are
It
in
was
a
a great
position to
concept.
understand. At least if we go through the blog, we will be able to understand. We can have custom preloading strategy also. We can decide how frequently each lazy module should be loaded, with what gap, when it should start downloading them. We can control. Otherwise, we leave it to browser. We ask that whenever you free, download all my preloading modules.
Yeah, so it is for very big applications, very chunk module. That time we should think about
Yes. Yes.
custom
Yes.
of that. Yeah,
Yes.
but it was a great concept, new concept.
Yeah.
Sir, like
Also,
I send one
from
another image. Just if you please open that in the WhatsApp.
Yeah. What happened to this?
I think you zoomed a lot. Yeah, second picture. Yeah. So here also, if you see line number 39, we are using for loop to do some extra positioning, some toaster message, right? Success message at the right of the page. So instead of doing that, can't we provide something in the provider level so that it will
This for root is coming from toaster module. Toaster module is for root. It is nowhere related to Angular routing.
No, it is different. Toaster means the pop-up. But I just got to know the for root word, so that's why I just asked. Is there any better
No,
approach?
this for root, the for root that we see in line number 39 is not related to Angular routing.
Yeah.
It's maybe in toaster module also they have used the same name, but it's not related to Angular routing.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, we can have our custom preloading also. Maybe it is too much to write our custom preloading. Why should we write our custom preloading? We can leave it to browser only, right?
কাজ করছি এখন পরে কথা হবে
Whenever you become free, start downloading preloading modules. Okay? Yeah. If you
when
want
we
to do,
have so when we have preload all modules, So there is no sequence or something. Which one to load first, which one to second.
No, we leave it to browser.
Leave it to
And
browser. Okay.
they are downloaded asynchronously. So it can happen that two things are downloaded at the same time. And Chrome browser, it varies from browser to browser. Chrome browser can download 7 files at a time.
Okay. And even though we have some module to lazily load, but when we mention preload all modules, whenever the browser is free, all the modules will be downloaded, right?
Yes. So this is how we can have our custom preloading. To be honest, I have never done this. But yeah, we can do something like
Custom
this.
will help to decide which one to go fast, which one to go second. Make a
Yes.
sequence.
Custom will help you to make a sequence. Huh? So as we know, when we go to Flipkart, we know how many users are frequently going. Most of the users are going to grocery module fast, or mobile module fast, or electronic module fast. I think Flipkart is famous for fashion. So fashion is the module people visit most, right? So we can decide, as soon as you are free, start downloading fashion, followed by grocery, followed by electronic. We can decide the sequence, right?
Yes, sir.
Example of custom preloading strategy. So we have routes, admin and test. In load children, we are saying in load children, we are saying preload true, delay 5,000. So once you are free, wait for 5 seconds, then download this. Preload true, delay 10,000. So I want admin first, then test. So here we are defining the priority or sequence.
Sir, is this alternative syntax? Like this hashtag admin module?
Can you come again?
Like we are for lazy loading, we are doing import and update.
Can you come again? Sorry, I didn't get you.
Scan scroll down. This syntax preload children. Is this like same as we are using? Like import that module and dot thing.
Yeah, so they have just given this, but this is the actual syntax.
Yeah, we don't need to import the module. This model path. That's
No. So we have to do like this. When we don't do like this, the question he's asking is, we are writing import, then we are writing a then method. Is it correct? Or they are not using import, just pointing to the link. This is okay. This is okay. The way we are doing. If we don't do it, see, if I write this import statement at the top, if I write it like this, even though I'm expecting it is not a lazy load, it is a eagerly load only. So the way they have done, they have just explained that I want to load this module. So in practical, nobody will do this. This is nobody will use this. We will do like this. Import, then the module. Okay. I think we don't have to think much about it. I have never used any custom preloading. Maybe
Maybe
those who are
those who are
working with
working with
Angular for the
Angular for the
last couple
last
of
couple of
years, you
years,
can
you can
also share
also
your
share your
experience.
experience.
No, I have never heard about it earlier. Also. I just heard it today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
But
yes,
yes,
if
if
somebody
somebody
asks, we
asks,
can
we can
explain this.
explain this.
Or in
Or in
future,
future,
if we
if
come
we come
across this
across
kind
this
of
kind of
requirement,
requirement,
we can
we can
always
always
implement if
implement
we know
if
the
we know the
concept.
concept.
Yes,
So the
right.
So
thing
the
is,
thing
when we
is, when
don't
we
write
don't write
custom
custom
preloading
preloading
logic,
logic,
we leave
we
it to
leave it to
browser.
browser.
We say,
We say
browser,
browser,
once you are
once you are
free,
free,
please
please
download
download
all
all
the
the
preloading
preloading
modules, make
modules,
them
make them
available.
available.
When we
When
write
we write
custom
custom
preloading, we
preloading, we
decide in
decide
what
in what
sequence they
sequence
should be
they should be
downloaded.
downloaded.
Like Flipkart example, we can think like the toy and other things. We can make some custom preloading logic.
No,
No,
they
they
are
are
lazy
lazy
loading.
loading.
No, we will preload the lazy loaded modules only, right?
We will
We
not
will not
preload
preload
also. We
also. We
can
can
load
load
them
them
on
on
demand.
demand.
Or
Or
yes, we
yes,
can
we
say
can
that
say that
load the
load the
important
important
things
things
SUVs as
SUVs
soon
as
as you
soon as you
become
become
free.
free.
But
But
after so
after
and
so
so
and so
time,
time,
start
start
loading
loading
them.
them.
We can
No,
We can
have
have
two set
two
of
set of
things.
things.
like
These are
These are
preloading.
important
important
things. These
things.
are
These are
least
least
important
important
things.
things.
Okay,
Load them
Load them
later
later
sometime.
sometime.
okay. Otherwise, browser will load as per its own time if
Yeah,
we
Yeah,
yeah,
use
yeah,
canload
correct.
correct.
preloading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there
If there
are
are uh,
15 or
15 or
20
20
modules,
modules,
it will
it will
download
download
randomly
randomly
7
7
modules,
modules,
again
again
7,
7,
again
again
7.
7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what
See what
happens
happens
when we
when we
load the
load the
application.
application.
When we load
When
the
we load the
application
application
localhost
localhost
4200,
4200.
see,
See,
application got
application got
loaded. When
loaded.
you see
When you see
this
this
scroller is
scroller is
done,
done,
when you
when you
see
see
this
this
scroller is
scroller
done,
is
it
done,
means
it means
browser is
browser
free.
is free.
When
Hmm.
When
browser is
browser is
free,
free,
immediately the
immediately the
user will
user
not
will not
go and
go and
click the
click
links,
the
right?
links, right?
User
User
will
will
spend at
spend at
least few
least few
seconds
seconds
Correct.
to
to
read the
read the
things in the
things in the
dashboard
dashboard
pages.
pages.
Yes.
Then
Then
will
will
make a
make a
mindset,
mindset,
okay, I
okay,
will
I
go
will
to
go to
grocery
grocery
module.
module.
So
So
when
when
a
a
user
user
sets a
sets a
mind to go
mind
to
to go to
grocery
grocery
module,
module,
the user
the user
needs
needs at least a minute,
at least
at
some
least
20
some
30
20 30
seconds.
seconds.
By
By
that
that
time,
time,
the
the
modules will be
modules will be
downloaded and
downloaded
will be
and will be
cached in
cached in
your
your
browser
browser
memory.
memory.
If the preloading is true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
the
if the
preloading is
preloading
true,
is true,
for
Hmm.
sure.
for sure.
But in case of small module, lazy loading also looks like a preloading only. I mean, it does not take much time.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
the
if the
module is
module
too
is too
small,
small,
Small, yeah.
let the
let the
let the
let the
user
user
click
click
on
on
click
click
download the
download the
file.
file.
In
In
most of the
most of the
projects,
projects,
people go
people
with
go with
lazy
lazy
loading,
loading,
Yeah, I have also not seen
not
with
not
preloading.
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 Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, that is all about
that is all
that is all
about
about
preloading.
preloading.
Now,
Now,
if you
if you
remember,
remember,
there was
there was
a
a
guide
guide
which we
which
didn't
we didn't
discuss.
discuss.
The
The
guide name
guide name
is
is
canload.
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 The
The
guide name
guide
is
name is
canload.
canload.
What is
What
this
is this
canload?
canload?
Now,
Now,
what I
what
will
I
do,
will do,
I will
I
not
will not
enable
enable
preloading. I will
preloading. I
not.
will not.
Okay,
Okay,
we will
we will
understand
understand
what is
what is
canload.
canload.
Canload
Canload
seeks to
seeks to
see
see
if a
if a
user
user
can
can
route to a
route to a
module
module
that is
that is
lazily
lazily
loaded or
loaded
not.
or not.
Okay,
Okay,
if
if
somebody is
somebody
trying
is
to go
trying
to
to
a
go to a
component
component
home,
home,
it should
it
be
should be
can
can
activate.
activate.
About
About
us,
us,
can
can
activate.
activate.
Carriers
Carriers
can
can
activate.
activate.
Customers,
Customers,
if I
if
have
I have
access, I
access,
should
I
go to
should go to
customers.
customers.
I
I
cannot use
cannot
can
use can
activate.
activate.
It is
It is
can
can
load.
load.
Grocery
Grocery
can
can
load.
load.
If you
If
have
you have
access, go to
access, go to
grocery.
grocery.
If you don't
If you
have
don't have
access,
access,
if you don't
if you
have
don't have
access,
access,
don't go to
don't go to
grocery.
grocery.
What is the
What is the
difference
difference
between can
between can
activate
activate
and can
and can
load?
load?
Can
Can act
add?
at,
I'll say
I'll say
auth guard.
auth guard.
Okay.
Okay.
Huh.
Huh.
What if
If
it
recording in
returns
progress returns
false
false
and
and
auth guard
auth
is
guard is
added for
added for
grocery?
grocery,
So
so
user will be
user will
able
be
to go
able
to
to go to
grocery or
grocery or
not now?
not now?
No.
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 But
But
okay.
okay.
But let's
But
see
let's
what
see what
happens.
happens.
User will
User
not
will
be able
not
to
be able
go
to
to
go to
grocery, but
grocery, but
there is
there
one
is
more
one more
problem.
problem.
Let's see what
Let's see what
happens.
happens.
When I
When
click
I click
on
on
customers, there
customers,
is
there
no
is no
check
check
added.
added.
I should
I
be
should
able
be
to go
able
to
to go to
customers.
customers.
Customers file
Customers
should
file
be
should be
downloaded.
downloaded.
Yes,
Yes,
customers is
customers is
downloaded.
downloaded.
Customers
Customers
component is
component
working.
is working.
Okay, I'll
Okay,
clear
I'll
it.
clear it.
I'll go to
I'll go to
grocery. When I
grocery.
go
When
to
I go to
grocery, there is
grocery,
a
there is a
check
check
added.
added.
But
But
that check
that
is
check
not
is not
allowing me to
allowing me
go to
to
that
go to that
component.
component.
You
You
see,
see,
that check
that check
didn't
didn't
allow me to
allow me
go
to go
to
to
grocery
grocery
component,
component,
but
but
downloaded the
downloaded the
file.
file.
If I
If
am
I am
not
not
allowed to
allowed
go
to
to
go to
that
that
component,
component,
why should
why
this
should
file
this
be
file be
downloaded?
downloaded?
There is no
There is
point
no
of
point of
downloading
downloading
this.
this.
So
So
can
can
activate is
activate
not
is
that
not that
powerful.
powerful.
Can
Can
activate
activate
can
can
stop
stop
you
you
to go
to
to
go
that
to
route,
that route,
but can
but can
activate
activate
cannot
cannot
stop you to
stop you to
download that
download that
file.
file.
Whereas
Whereas
instead of
instead
can
of can
activate,
activate,
if I
if I
use
use
can
can
load,
load,
can
can
load,
load,
can
can
load,
load,
can
can
load,
load,
then
then
can
can
load,
load,
then
then
it
it
can
can
stop the
stop the
user to
user
go
to
to
go
that
to
route.
that route.
It will
It will
also
also
stop the
stop the
file to be
file to be
downloaded.
downloaded.
So that
So that
powerful it
powerful it
is.
is.
Now,
Now,
let me
let me
see.
see.
I'm
I'm
I'm in
I'm in
home route.
home route.
I'll go to
I'll go to
customers. There
customers.
is
There
no
is
check
no check
added for
added for
customers.
customers.
So
So
customers
customers
module is
module is
downloaded.
downloaded.
Customers
Customers
component is
component is
loaded.
loaded.
When I
When
go
I
to
go to
grocery
grocery
module,
module,
there is a
there is a
check
check
added.
added.
This
This
check is
check
not
is not
letting me
letting
go
me
to the
go to the
grocery
grocery
component.
component.
It is
It
not
is
even
not even
downloading that
downloading that
module.
module.
If I
If
am
I
not
am not
allowed to go
allowed
to
to
a
go to a
module,
module,
what is the
what is
point
the
of
point of
downloading that
downloading that
file?
file?
Right?
Right?
So
So
can
can
load
load
is
is
more
more
powerful than
powerful
can
than can
activate.
activate.
It
It
stops
stops
the
the
file to be
file to be
downloaded.
downloaded.
It
It
stops the
stops the
user to
user
go
to
to
go
that
to that
route.
route.
Is it
Is
clear?
it clear?
So lazy loading modules like always should go with can load, right? Not can
Can
activate.
load.
Can load.
Always can
Always
load.
can load.
What is the
What is the
point of
point of
using can
using can
activate? If you
activate? If
use
you
can
use can
activate,
activate,
it
it
stops you to
stops you
go to
to go
that
to
route,
that
but
route,
it
but
still
it still
downloads that
downloads that
file,
file,
which
Yeah,
takes
which
some
yeah.
takes some
time.
time.
In our project, it's using can activate only. I should change it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
we can
change it to
change it to
simply can
simply
load.
can load.
Yeah, got it. Can activate we should use where there is no lazy loading concept.
Yeah,
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 correct,
correct,
correct.
correct.
What
What
happened?
happened?
I don't know.
I don't
What
know.
did I
What
do?
did I do?
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
today we
today we
discussed
discussed
what
what
is
is
lazy
lazy
loading,
loading,
what
what
is
is
eager
eager
loading,
loading,
what is
what is
preloading,
preloading,
and
and
how to
how
use
to use
can
can
load,
load,
how
how
can load
can
is
load is
different from
different from
can
can
activate.
activate.
Are very clear?
Very clear?
Is it clear? how are we
how are we
deploying
deploying
Angular
Angular
application in
application in
server,
server,
what all
what all
commands we
commands we
use while
use while
building the
building the
application.
application.
All these
All
things
these
we are
things we
going
are
to
going to
discuss
discuss
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Sanjay, one question.
Yes. Yes.
In
In
model, we
model,
can
we
create
can
the
create the
multiple
multiple
components.
components.
In
In
model, we
model,
can
we can
create
create
multiple.
multiple
Components.
components.
In
In
customer
customer,
We can
we
create
can create
multiple
multiple
components
components
inside a
inside a
module.
module.
actually, how
Actually, how
can we
can we
access that
access
in
that in
routing?
routing?
Actually, I
Actually, I
tried from
tried
my
from
side,
my
but
side, but
I
I
didn't get
didn't get
solution.
solution.
Yeah,
Yeah,
again
again
for
for
that
that
module,
module,
when we
when
have
we
a
have a
module,
module,
grocery
grocery
module,
module,
Yes, you
yes,
can
you
create
can
only
create
grocery
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 module.
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 In this
In this
grocery
grocery
module,
module,
Yes, we
in
can
this
we can
grocery
import
import
here.
here.
grocery
Grocery
module has
module
only
has
one
only one
component,
component,
grocery
grocery
component,
component.
Yes.
Yes.
and
And
grocery
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 routing.
routing.
Grocery
Grocery
routing is
routing is
having
having
only
only
one
one
route,
route,
right?
right?
So because
Yes.
of
Because
that,
of
it
that, it
loads all
loads
the
all the
time.
time.
Yes,
So
we
Yes,
call it.
we can again have
again
lot
have
of
lot of
entries here.
entries here.
We can
We can
have
have
grocery
grocery
one,
one.
we can
We can
have
have
grocery
grocery
two,
two.
Yes.
Yes,
grocery
grocery
two,
two,
and so
and
on.
so on.
We can
We
have
can
lot
have
of
lot of
entries here.
entries here.
This
This
grocery
grocery
module can
module
have
can
lot
have
of
lot of
entries
entries
and lot
and
of
lot of
components.
components.
And
And
again,
again,
in
in
grocery,
grocery,
in this
in this
grocery
grocery
component,
component,
in
in
grocery
grocery
component,
component,
grocery
grocery
component
component
HTML,
HTML,
add a
add a
router
router
outlet,
outlet,
router
router
outlet,
outlet,
router
Okay.
router
outlet.
outlet.
We need
We
to
need to
define
define
the
the
navigation
navigation
pattern.
pattern.
We need to
We need to
define the
define the
Navigation.
navigation
navigation
pattern.
pattern.
Add the
Add the
navigation and
navigation
add
and
the
add the
router
router
outlet. If
outlet.
you do
If you do
these two
these two
things,
things,
and
and
this
this
entry,
entry,
these three
these three
things
things
should do your
should do your
job.
job.
And
And
URL will
URL will
be
be
grocery
grocery
hyphen
hyphen
grocery
grocery
one.
one. Ha,
Grocery
grocery
hyphen
hyphen
grocery
grocery
one,
one,
grocery
grocery
hyphen
hyphen
grocery two.
grocery two.
That's
That's
problem.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have
we have
four.
so
Then we
then
should
we can
create a
create a
component.
component.
So we
So
can
we
push
can
all
push
these
all
things
these things
inside
inside
components
components
folder.
folder.
Yeah,
First
that's
create a
Create a
grocery
grocery
module,
module,
then a
then a
module,
module,
then a
then a
routing
routing
file. Then
file,
all
then
these
all
things
these
should
things
go
should
to
go to
components folder
components
again.
folder again.
okay.
Okay,
Okay, that is
that is
fine.
fine.
Actually, one
Actually,
more
one more
question.
question.
Hmm.
I want
I
to
want to
create a
create a
component that
component that
belongs to
belongs to
grocery.
grocery.
Then
Okay,
what's the
okay.
process?
Then we
Then
can
we can
say
say,
then we
then
can
we can
say
say,
ng generate
generate
component
component,
grocery.
grocery,
Inside
inside
grocery,
grocery,
create a
create a
folder
folder
components.
components,
Inside
inside
that,
that,
grocery
grocery,
one
one
component.
component.
It will go to grocery.
Grocery,
Inside
inside
grocery, it will
grocery,
create components.
components,
Inside
inside
components, it will
components,
create grocery
grocery
one.
one.
And
And
you
you
see,
see,
it
it
updated
Yes,
grocery
updated
yes.
grocery
module.
module.
It
Yes.
didn't go to app module also. It is going
Yes.
to, if it is going to grocery module, then we are good. Yeah, it is going to grocery module. This is the very important thing, right?
Yes. Yes. Got it. Could
Yeah.
you please add this command as in that note?
Huh. Huh.
Sir, why were sir? If grocery can have its own routing also, right? That you are
Yeah,
creating.
Yes. Yes.
grocery
Yes.
can have its own routing.
And I have my app routing. So from app, how can I drive grocery routing? I mean,
No, app should not drive grocery. App should drive only app routing.
App should not drive grocery.
No, no, no. That is why we have the concept of module.
Okay.
So
So we,
though app is
yeah.
the
Hmm.
app for every other module, but app should not drive groceries routing.
Got it. Got it.
But
It should
I
only load
think,
that, and then grocery will drive it.
Yeah, yeah.
but I think this grocery and customer module should be outside of the app module, right?
They should
In the
be. They
folder
should be.
structure. Yeah,
Yeah, folder structure wise, they should be. Yeah.
yeah.
Correct.
I think you created one module called login outside of the.
Login. Ha ha ha.
Yeah,
Yes.
Only
similarly,
that.
we should have the.
Yeah, yeah. As I told, when we run this command, right,
Yeah,
Hmm.
we have less control. When we do one by one, first create a module, then create routing file, then add a component. We have control. We can do it. No need to keep grocery customers inside app. They are sibling of app. They are not. They should not be present inside app.
right.
Yeah. So when
Yeah.
should we insert something in the entry components, like in the module level? Entry
Entry
component.
component again. Entry component. It has a different concept altogether. There are two things. What is entry component? If you go to app module, in app module, when we write this using Bootstrap, we can configure entry component.
There is no entry component tag here. There is bootstrap tag.
There is a predefined key also called entry component. You see,
Yeah, I have seen
we
it.
can use this also. Huh? So there are two things. When you use Bootstrap, that is also one entry component. Yeah. If you want to understand, we can Google. When we write Bootstrap, that is also entry component.
Yeah.
Entry component in Angular. Entry components are deprecated. Entry components are deprecated.
I have seen in my routing now they have used some of the entry component and they are writing some of the component over there. I didn't
Yeah.
understand
See,
neither.
there are two main kinds of entry components. The bootstrapped root component,
Hmm.
a component you specify in a route definition. So this is in app module.ts, app component is
Entry
entry
component.
component. Yeah. And earlier we used to write entry component keyword also.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that is deprecated. Yeah. Since Angular 9, it is deprecated. We are far ahead.
Okay.
So
So
we should
now we should
avoid
not use
using
it.
that.
Now we should not use.
No, no, no.
Okay. If the project is in
Itself,
Angular 8, we should use it. Or
I think we
I
should not.
want to check. I
I
should.
think we should not because one day
Uh,
your 8 will be updated to 10 or 15.
yeah, I
So
mean it's already.
if your Angular project is in 8, you
Hmm.
should immediately migrate because Angular people they support only last two versions. They
Correct.
don't
Correct.
support
Correct.
every
Correct.
version.
Correct.
Now
Correct.
they are 15 means they will support only 13, 14, 15.
Hmm.
Once they launch 16, they will support only 14, 15. They will support you only for last two versions.
Yes. Yes.
They
Correct.
will you will not get any support for older versions.
Support means what type of support they provide? If some generally
if
asking.
if if you find any bug, Angular people have some bug. If you go and
Okay.
ask them, hey, in this version you have this
This is
bug,
not working.
they will not respond. They will say you are not supposed to use
Older.
this version. You should change your project to so and so version. We will
But
support only those versions.
yes, yes, yes. We are in a plan on
if you
older.
find if you
Yeah.
find one bug in Angular 15 or 14, they will be happy to help you.
Yes, yes, got it.
that's mean maybe they have already fixed those bugs in the updated
Yes,
version
correct.
and they don't want to work anymore.
They don't want to work in older
Yes.
things. Yeah.
If they will not have that, people will start using 2 to 15, somebody will come up with 1 is in 2, somebody will come up with 1 is in 4, which they have
Yeah.
already fixed in the latest Angular.
Yes.
They cannot control, it will be out of control.
Got it.
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, what is the difference between for root and for child?
For root, we use for loading components, and for children, we use for loading module. That is in layman's word. If you want to understand the technical definition, let's see. Hmm.
Because for child was not taking that preloading as argument.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah. So, what it is saying, the for root method creates an ng module that contains all the directives, the given routes, the router service itself. It includes router service also. The for child method creates an ng module that contains all the directives and the given routes, but doesn't include the router service. In for child, router service is not included. In for root, router service is included. For root routes, for child, didn't get much what they are trying to explain.
That is our documentation and don't say much. You need to read other blogs to understand.
Ah, good explanation here. So what they are saying, when we write for root returns the module and services separately, whereas for child, okay, no, where did
Where
they
did they
explain for
explain
root
for
and
root
for
and
child?
for child?
Okay,
Okay.
for root
For root
static
static
method,
method,
root
root
routing module
routing
for
module
your
for your
route. When
routes.
you
When you
call
call
router
router
module dot
module
for
dot
root
for root
routes,
routes,
you are
you are
asking
asking
Angular to
Angular to
instantiate an
instantiate an
instance of
instance of
router
router
class
class
globally.
globally.
Just like Angular creates a new base app module to import all your feature modules, it also provides app routing module to import all your child routes. Okay. In the new app that you have created via Angular CLI, the for route method is actually already been used inside app routing module.ts in your app. You only want to use for route method once. This is because this method tells Angular to instantiate an instance of the router class under the hood, and there can be only one router in your app. The for root static method is part of pattern that ensures that you are using singleton class. Okay, fine. But it is for child. The for child static method constitutes the other side of the for root. When you are using the for child method, you are basically telling Angular there is already a router instance available in the app. So please just register all of these routes with the instance. The for child method is the method that you will call to register routes throughout your app, and you will use it inside the child routing modules that you create. Okay, fine. So now if we go and see, mm, if we open app routing,
Module.
app routing should use for root because this is the root module, and grocery routing should use for child. So uh, the main module, the top level module will use for root, and feature modules or the child modules they will use for child. Grocery, then customers, they will use for child. If they will not use for child, they will again use for root, then one more instance will be created. So it says when we use for child, when we say for child, we are saying that there is already one router instance available. Please register all these things there. When you are using for child method, you are basically telling Angular that there is already a router instance available in the app module or in the parent module. Please register all these routes also there only. Okay. So the app module will always use for root, and the feature modules or the child modules they will be using for child.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
all needed during my preloading strategy only, right? Otherwise, to no need for child for root.
No, for any child module, whether we use preloading or not, this concept remains same.
Okay. Generally, we don't use na router module dot for root. When do we use?
We use na in app routing module.
Okay,
I
okay.
mean, it
Default
was automatically generated. We didn't
automatically
write, but
generated. We don't write. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we don't write, but we should understand.
Yeah, yeah. So it is the
Sometimes in interview
router.
they will ask.
For child, it will create another instance of the routing.
No, for child will not create another instance. We'll say that there is already one router instance available. Attach all these routes there.
There. So
So
those
it is
routes.
like
And
something with singleton.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
will
something like
only create
singleton.
one bean of the service.
yes, yes. So when we hover here, it gives two methods. The for root method creates an ng module that contains all the directives, all the given routes, and the router service itself. So router service is there with for root. When we use for root, we can easily use router service. But if we use for child, it creates an ng module that contains all the directive and given routes, but doesn't include the router service. And we don't have to create a separate router service because it is already there in our parent module.
No parallel module. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I told you, right? That is for children.
For children is different. Lazy loading.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Component is used to load a component, or load children is used to load a module.
Not a module.
If you see component, you are loading a module. If you see load children, you are loading a module. What is for root and for child, it is different.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's stop here. Tomorrow, if you have any question, go ahead.
Just one
Tomorrow
off
we'll
topic.
continue.
One off topic. I'm just asking.
Mhm.
That is, sir, like if 15 minutes time given, actually they have gave me 15 minutes of time in a big town hall. There will be a bigger audience. I need to explain something good about front end or something technological things. So what topic can I select with a funny PPT, so engaging PPT, so that everyone finds interesting? Just asking. I
Recording
thought like
start.
I will think React versus Angular versus Vue, how evolving things are coming up in something I thought of, but
Maybe people in this group they can help.
yeah, everyone. It's like everyone suggestions to all of you. Some emerging topic that could have been discussed in a different way. Alok, you, other guys, Lakshman, Sam,
UI or
and everyone.
UI,
the
UI.
topic? So I just okay. Um, Probably I missed it. What you said?
Yeah, I mean, 15 minutes time you have, for example, you need to, I mean, share something really interesting thing that everyone will love to hear. Okay, that could be any technological topic UI related. Okay.
So he has a larger audience where he will have a larger community, which will have developers, QA
Yeah, QAs
managers.
and yeah, exactly.
Now
Developers, QA, and everyone.
he got 15 minutes and he has to demonstrate something which is relevant for everyone.
Hmm. Yeah, we can do that.
What is the topic? What is the topic you
Topic.
would like to discuss there?
Any suggestions of topics?
Um, so should it be technical or
Yeah.
it can be
I
anything?
mean, it should not be pure lazy module kind of
So
technical.
we
It
cannot
should be,
say what is component, what is
yeah,
directive because managers will not understand.
yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
yeah.
Something sort of everyone should understand, and they should also feel some technical things. I was thinking like React DOM and Angular, how things works in the browser, how internally things are evolving towards the virtual DOM, how the future is
Or,
coming.
or maybe not just React or Angular.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can probably do the revolution of web development, how it was in the beginning 20 years back, and then what technology is coming day by day, year by
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Why we should move to from one to another technology, or what are the parallel technology we can work with. And probably if you are from Java background, I don't know much about the Java, but for .NET, probably I will say in the very beginning, I saw a .NET project with VB.NET, then C Sharp.NET. Why we moved to C Sharp.NET using of and then why at some point why we need to come out of the ASP.NET and move to front end, and we had to separate back end and front end. I mean, what is the
Yeah, that
reason
sounds
behind it?
good. Yeah, sounds good.
And
Not only
then what
restricting
are
with
the
Angular React, yeah, like that. Yes.
yeah, and then what are the different backend technologies you have? What's the benefit of learning one, and which one you prefer and why? What are the front end technology you can do with your backend technology, and which one you should go and why? And then
Yes,
probably
yes. That sounds really interesting.
and along with the database, what database you prefer and why? I can tell you something. Since Sanjay also know Hadoop, you can relate me the Hive database or the MongoDB. So In the beginning, we used to have, I mean, still now we are having SQL or Oracle database. Now, many web development projects are moving to MongoDB. MongoDB is nothing but a JSON kinds of um, they are holding not in the traditional way to store
Yeah,
the data
NoSQL
in the data
database, we
structure.
call it. Yeah.
NoSQL database. Why we should move to NoSQL database? What's the benefit? And does your backend technology is capable with that database or not? So three things you need to keep in mind: the backend, database, and the front end. I mean, the revolution of the web development.
Yeah, sounds good. Noted it. Like, will not be strict with React or Angular like that. I'll mix it up with some other things so that everyone can make it good.
Yeah, so that is how people who doesn't bother about Angular or React, who is not interested at all, they will also listen why they should move from their technology to Angular or React.
Correct, correct. Sounds absolutely
I mean,
excellent.
let's say I have a web portal that is built on ASP.NET. I don't know anything about the back end and the front end, so I don't bother. And now the situation is, I mean the current project or the current scenario based on you can explain some of the scenario why we should use front end and back end separately. And one more thing, along with the front end and back end and the database, you can add the security part. That's one of the key in any web development project. How you are securing your front end application, how you are securing your back end application, how you
Yes.
are sending token from one application to another application to authorize and authenticate a user. And probably you can, if you want to go details, probably you can do some some research on the what
Yes,
is
yes,
called
absolutely. Yes.
um, cyber security, those things.
Yeah, in short, like we need to find out few important topics that everyone should understand, and in 15 minutes of time need to explain in that way. Yeah, that's really sound, and it will hit it. Thank you so much, Alok.
No problem. See, most of us, we use some security tool, and we should know it, what tool we are using and why.
Exactly.
And probably you can also add some the cloud thing, whether you are using AWS or Azure. I mean, I can keep adding.
You can keep.
I can keep adding the things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's fine. But time is limited. Not cannot cover all. I mean, some limitations I have to keep in mind and make some pointers and make something good presentations and present over the stage like that kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, your
If
ideas
you
are
if you
very
if you
great.
are if you are presenting, or if you need any help on to build up these things,
Yeah.
you can reach out to me. Probably I can help you with the
Yeah, sure,
website and
sure. I'll first prepare something and present you. I'll
yeah,
show you.
prepare something, then probably we can add up something.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
don't go details on any of the
Never ever.
technology.
Yeah, it will be high level, high level.
Just touch the thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, thank you so much,
Okay, bye.
Alok.
Good night.
Yeah, thank you so
No
much, sir.
problem. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good night. See you
Good
tomorrow,
night.
guys.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.